All rise. You may be seated. I love you without knowing how, or when, or from where. I love you simply, without problems or pride. I love you in this way because I don't know any other way of loving. But this, in which there is no I or no you, so intimate that your hand upon my chest is my hand. From Sonnet 17. Who presents and supports Christie on this glorious day?
We do.
Now that you've seen how it's done. Who presents and supports Brian on this glorious day? Unfair advantage. Christie and Brian, before you're joined together in marriage, in my presence and in the presence of these witnesses, I remind you of the serious and binding nature of this relationship. The traditional rite of marriage, as most of us understand it, is the voluntary, deliberate, and full commitment of two individuals to one another to become partners for a lifetime. Christie and Brian, have you come here freely and without reservation to enter into this marriage? Thank goodness. Let's begin this celebration of love and life. Summer comes in strong as the result of spring's diligence. Like the new growth of spring, a love that has been carefully nurtured with gentle breezes and occasional showers erupts with hot summer weather and flowers and trees bursting out everywhere in full bloom. We ache for the promise of life and nature renewed,
And Christie and Brian give us a glimpse of that promise today, reminding us of our need to live each day to its fullest without holding back. Perhaps there is no leap of faith as courageous as that of getting married. It is the supreme act of trust. It is as much a union as a move of independence. It takes an absolute confidence in oneself to be able to give fully to another. This partnership is not new, but today's the beginning of a different journey as husband and wife. It is so meaningful that you can share this day with them as they make public the commitment they have already made to each other in their hearts. For marriage is more than simply an agreement between two people. It is a chance for us to embrace them as a couple, as a family, and as part of a larger community. Many of you have traveled from far and wide to be here, and this gift of your presence is a sweeter gift than you could possibly imagine. Christie and Brian have been inspired by so many of you who have touched their lives in ways that have changed them forever. You are their family, the family they have inherited, and the family they have chosen. In Finding Home, the playwright Welly Yang writes, "We are all a culmination of the people who came before us, and we're here to finish the dreams they left unfinished." Both Christie and Brian treasure their families as well as those who could not be with us today. We know they are with us in spirit. Let us take a moment to think of these beloved family members with fondness, especially Kathy Marshall. We know they all rejoice with us. So, what about this couple? Brian remembers falling head over heels for Christie early on in their relationship. She was the most selfless and amazing girl I had ever met, he says. To this day, as he explains, she's always trying to do something to make my life easier. It didn't take long for Brian to realize I just wanted to be around her. He simply adores every facet of her personality and especially enjoys her keen sense of humor. She's fun, he says. Prophetic, poetic, many other things. Oh, and then there are those quirky mannerisms and funny accents she spontaneously summons. Well, those should certainly add some spice to their vows today. Now, Christie knew Brian was different almost from the beginning. For her, falling in love with him came soon after they began dating. Their relationship, well, it just clicked. She describes them as best friends and goes on to explain, Brian is the most caring, kind, and thoughtful person I know. Sense of humor? Oh yeah. In fact, Christie believes Brian has a secret desire to make her laugh at least once every day. From Christie's first words to Brian, I want you to listen to these: turkey, Swiss lettuce, and mayo on whole wheat. Well, you see, Brian worked at a nearby deli when they first met. This partnership began taking shape. Their commitment to each other, to creating a loving partnership of honesty and all-out joy, should serve them well in their quest to start a family and eventually to see the world. Christie and Brian are well aware of the panorama of experiences and emotions that have brought them to this day. And while they've already experienced so many life events, the future is sure to hold many more surprises and firsts. Their love, their perseverance, their dedication to one another will see to that. And and they will notice that, in the words of an anonymous writer, the best way to predict the future is simply to create it. Christie and Brian, you're here in the presence of your family and friends to be joined together in marriage. This is a tremendous commitment, a promise that binds you in a relationship of love, faith, and hope, excluding all others. Brian, do you take Christie to be your lawful and wedded wife? Will you love and respect her, be honest with her, and stand joyfully beside her in whatever the future may bring? And Christie, do you take Brian to be your lawful and wedded husband? Will you love and respect him, be honest with him, and stand joyfully beside him in whatever the future may bring?
I love you.
Now, Christie, please repeat after me. I, Christie,
I, Christie,
take you, Brian,